What you thought? You gonna save the world, bro? He rips his arm off, and the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Beats this man with his arm. He beats him with his own arm, and absorbs that shit. He fuses with this guy's arm, bro. This is the first good thing to come to Marvel, I would say, in the last 5 years. They've literally been trash in the last 5 years. Except for like that one Spider-Man movie. But we don't talk about that. This is heat. I had to actually watch the old show just to get more facts on to see, like, to compare it. And honestly, it's comparable, if not better, just because the animation is so beautiful and clean. It's nothing I've ever expected it to be honest. The old show is kind of all clunky. Obviously, it's from the 90s, but it's a little clunky. The writing is sometimes a little goofy. Like, things happen and you're kind of goofed out because the characters, they feel like they're not expressing the emotion to the fullest. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good story-wise. And for the animation, it wasn't too bad at the time, but it just came off a little goofy. This one's hard hitting. The animation is beautiful. Let me throw up. See that? The animation is crazy. And that's just like a random filler. Their filler episode, which it's not really a filler, but that little section right there, that little filler, whatever that happened with Jubilee and this other guy who I'll talk about later, because I don't want to get into no spoiler. They're just doing like whatever they want in this little episode, and it's so clean, it's so nice, and that's like a filler episode. So imagine how the story actually is. It's really good. It's really good. The characters, the voice acting is honestly really good. You feel it. And it's just the pacing. Oh my god, amazing pacing, bro. They wrote that shit so good. Every step of the way, you're enticed. Every end of the episodes, you're enticed for the next one. You're like looking forward to the next episode to drop. I've been watching this more than I have One Piece drops. Like, I've been expecting this more One Piece drops. And it's crazy that I make that the pinnacle. I gotta make a One Piece video one day. But that is the pinnacle, honestly, because One Piece has kept the hype for a long time, where I'm excited to watch the episode. So whenever something, for me, makes me want to watch it more than the One Piece drop, that's when you know it's some heat. So this was heat. Story-wise, animation-wise, voice acting-wise. There's nothing that it didn't hit on. Now, at times, my only criticism, possibly, is like closer to the end of the series and so what like that, is that it could get a little like foreshadowy. Like, you kind of can tell what might happen. It's a little real. It's well written to the point where you can kind of almost guess what'll happen. But sometimes, this is what's good about it, is it'll flip you on your head. Like, you'll expect, oh yeah, this is probably gonna happen, and then the opposite happens, or some other random shit happens, and you're like, oh, what the fuck. So I want to go into depth about actual, like, the storyline. So this is gonna be spoiler warning here. If you don't want to hear what happens, maybe go watch it and then come back to this show or this episode. I'm gonna go into it right now. So we start off, first episode, kick the bucket, it's all calm, right? It's all calm. You got Jean Grey, look at Jean Grey, pregnant. No one expected that, she's pregnant. Then you got them talking about what happened in the last, in the old show, literally like 20 plus years ago, where this guy, Charles Xavier, he's dead, and obviously they're going through it. You get Storm showing up, Storm Heat, looking at her, look at that. She is abominable like that. She has crazy feats. Honestly, whenever she shows up and she's like really trying to get off, like, she goes crazy. There's a part where she pulls up to the desert, my bad. Storm pulls up to the desert. Right, everyone's like, oh my god, how are we gonna handle these people? And her eyes glow or whatever, that thing she does. And she goes, boom! And she turns the desert into glass. It was so tough. The animation was so beautiful, so clean. You guys have to check that out. That was awesome. That was one of the hypest scenes, I think, from the show, period. And it has a bit of hype scenes, let me be honest. Some scenes you will go crazy for. So it starts off with some heat. Just throwing you exposition stuff that you weren't expecting to happen. Talking about how this guy killed Xavier and stuff like that. And it even foreshadows in that first episode what happens all the way in episode, I think, 5 and 6. Halfway through, like, we get a lot of build up story-wise throughout the episodes. You know, we get a Jean Grey twin, stuff like that. But then episode 5 is where it just flips a gear. This is the episode that turns the season on its head. So you get a random attack on Genosha. Genosha is the mutant island, by the way. And these Sentinels pop out of nowhere, right? Master Mode pops out of nowhere and literally just like practically Allah Akbar's, Allah Akbar's the area. He starts shooting, blowing stuff up. It's crazy. Mutants dying all over the place. And it's honestly heartbreaking episode because you get the nice little love triangle between Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit in that episode at the start and halfway through. And then at the end, the love triangle kind of implodes on itself, where Magneto supposedly gets laser beamed by Master Mold trying to save mutants, dies. You know why later. Rogue gets mad at that, right? Rogue is like, oh my god, my man, well, not her mans, but like one of her older mans, you know, it's the only person she's ever had relations with, because she, and Magneto, yeah, that's crazy. She gets mad as hell, goes crazy, whatever. Craziest scene ever, I'm him moment. Gambit's like, oh, nah, that's my girl. He hits her with a motorcycle, and he's like, nah, weave, and then he, boom, stab. You're like, oh no, they got my boy Gambit. He hits him with I'm that guy. Boom, blows that shit up. Crazy XP. I don't even know that. Rest in peace, my boy. He's honestly him. I was really rooting for them. So that flipped the show on its head. You get Rogue down bad for a couple episodes. Crazy stuff happened. Professor X is alive. Bada bada bing, bada boom. You start getting closer to the end. This weird, you find out who's behind it. Sebastian. I'm behind the X-Men dying. I don't know. He pulls up, this evil Sentinel hybrid dude pulls up. He's the one who's behind it all. And he basically wants to take over the world. He makes human Sentinels. It's crazy. Stuff I was not expecting to happen, but it was heat either way. Then you got the X-Men like, oh, now we gotta fight this. We gotta do what we gotta do. Xavier comes back down. We find out Magneto's still alive. He escapes. He shuts down all the human Sentinels with his Magneto powers or whatever. Enough. Well, this is where it starts getting a little enticing. Like, well, not enticing, but just crazy. We got Magneto fighting Professor X because he's like, nah, I'm gonna do my own. Magneto's like, I'm gonna do my own thing. You know, Professor X's like, oh, we gotta save all the mutants. I'm gonna do my own thing. Magneto's like, nah, fuck humanity. I'm trying to destroy these people. Professor X's like, nah, humans, mutants, together as one. So they fight. You got a cool battle scene, whatever going on, and whatever. You know, they get in there. Professor X goes like, nah, boy, psych. Hits him with the freaking brain blast. KOs his house, takes him to I don't even know where, Narnia. Then you got the mutants are like, oh, what do we do? They start fighting Sebastian or whatever. They beat his ass. His ass gets absolutely dogged by the X-Men, honestly, which was crazy because he did the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in Cable, bro. This guy literally... well, okay, let me put a context. Phoenix pulls out. This bitch hits the Ex Machina, pulls out the Phoenix Force out of nowhere, destroys Sinister, and then gets literally key blasted by Sebastian, KO'd. I don't know what the hell happened there, I'm gonna be honest. But she gets like key blasted, and this guy goes to Cable and goes like, what you thought? You gonna save the world, bro? He rips his arm off, and the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen, beats this man with his arm. He beats him with his own arm and absorbs that shit. He fuses with this guy's arm, bro. It's practically like I took your bitch, and she's mine now. That was a pause moment. That was crazy though. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all to happen. That was cool. And whatever, so that goes all the way back. They're in the spaceship. They're fighting him. They beat him up. Stuff implodes or something, and he's like. They're like, oh my god, well, you should come with us. You know, they're trying to do that, join us or whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna do my own thing. You know, kills himself. Boom. The United States government, right? While this is all happening, the United States government is like, well, the world governments are all together, and they're like, oh, president, you know, you gotta nuke them. You gotta nuke them all to smithereens, whatever. And then, you know what's crazy when Captain America looks over like, damn, bro, what the hell is up with these people? Whatever. They do nuke them. They shoot nukes at the meteor that they're in after they defeat the bad guy. By the way, they defeat the bad guy. They shoot nukes at them, blow the meteor up. The meteor's falling, and then they're like, oh shit. Now the world is gonna die. Now we're all gonna die because the meteor is falling out of the sky and it's gonna crash into the world, and we're all gonna die. And that's where Magneto, Magneto and Professor X, they go back to that little thing. Magneto's top-notch glazing this guy. I mean, Professor X top-notch glazing Magneto. He's like, oh, bro, you're here, bro. Glock 3000 in Magneto. And Magneto just taking that, first time I remember, he's like, oh, yeah, glazing. Ah! Power, he gets strong as hell. He's like, oh, shit, I got this shit. Ooh, goes up in the skies, holds that meteor, no problem. And then, boom, out of nowhere, just disappears. Just like teleported or something. We later find out that it was time travel, and we're left with that banger of an ending where they're in different times, and you got Forge and I forgot the guy who travels through time. You'll see him here. Boom, my boy pulls up, and he's like, Forge, we gotta go save these people. It's not the first time that this has happened, which ties into the old show where they have like time traveling and saving people from different times and stuff like that. So the ending was a banger ending. Halfway through the show the show has different climaxes, and that's what's so good about it, is that it starts off pretty nice, then it has like a good Jean Grey thing going crazy, has some little X-Men Wolverine stuff coming through, stuff like that. This crazy scene of Wolverine getting his adamantium. That's another thing that was crazy. Was not expecting that. It's just adamantium gets ripped out of his body by Magneto. So that's the reason Professor X hit him with the brain blast. But yeah, the season was heat, man. This is heat, and I'm super excited for the next season. I'm honestly a little down bad it's over. Love the animation. Story was good. And yeah, I'm just excited for the next one. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. I think it's rated 9 out of 10. I think that's fair rating. Maybe I would give it like a little higher, 9.5, but at the same time, you can't give anything a perfect 10. What's a perfect 10?